Ismail, welcome to TOA
Thank
and
you.
the Speaker Spotlight webinar sessions. So can we get to know you a bit? Who are you? What are you doing? What are you developing? And what are your first takeoffs from Tech Open Air 2024?
I'm Ismail Khoffi. I'm one of the co-founders of Celestia Labs and currently the CTO there. We developed Celestia, the first modular blockchain network. And it's my first TOA event.
Nice.
And I really like the venue. I really like the vibe and the people. And so far it's been great.
Cool. So you told about Celestia, that's a modular blockchain technology. So can you explain us what modular blockchain technology is?
So traditionally, blockchains do all the things that a decentralized application needs in one chain. And Celestia basically decouples that and makes scalability possible by moving the execution or the business logic out into a different layer or a different chain. And Celestia itself is a very minimalistic blockchain. It literally does only order arbitrary messages and guarantees to everyone using Celestia or the network that these messages have been published, such that if you need to, you can go and execute these messages to guarantee that they are actually valid according to your business logic.
So this is the verification part in the data availability. Do I understand it correctly? So that people can verify the data, the nodes in the blockchain.
So there's two components here. One is the data availability. So when this was introduced, it was called data availability proofs. It's basically a mechanism that allows you, like you as a node on the network, to verify that the data has been published to the network without downloading all the data. So that's one aspect of verifiability. The other aspect of verifiability is verifying that this data, the transactions essentially, are valid transactions, and the blocks that are being produced for your decentralized application are also valid transactions. This can happen via two ways, either via executing them yourself if you're a full node, but if you're a light node, you can rely on two different mechanisms. One is so-called fraud proofs, when used in optimistic rollups, and one is so-called validity proofs used in so-called ZK rollups.
So can we say Celestia is also encountering with the network security of the blockchain, because it's somewhat like makes it more secure, all the transactions and like all the data flows?
I think like all chains have like similar security notions. What is different in Celestia is that you essentially can have similar guarantees to a full node without downloading all the data. So like usually you'd have to download all data to have the guarantee that it has been published. And in Celestia, it's different, that even a light node, like a node running on your phone or in your browser, can have similar guarantees without downloading the whole data by doing what's called data availability sampling.
Because of that, does it make Celestia more cost efficient? Because now we can do things like more efficiently, more like secure, more easy?
That's certainly an aspect of it. So Celestia makes it possible to have very inexpensive transactions on your decentralized application. So it's definitely one aspect is making it as inexpensive as possible for users.
Right.
Because you don't have to download the whole block. You can have like really large blocks, and then you can post a lot of transactions to fill up these massive blocks without having to download those. By making block space abundant essentially, and not like a very rare commodity, you unlock applications that were before not possible. For instance, you could have like AI LLMs on chain, for instance, or like these art chains that I mentioned in the presentation, and like a lot of applications that or like gaming rollups is also a very good example. Games often are too expensive to be like on chain, but Celestia, or like more generally speaking, this whole modular architecture enables these applications and makes them more cost efficient.
Great. So that means like Celestia has a broad audience in terms of like the gaming DApps and like to blockchains. I kind of also want to understand a bit more of this modularity, the mix and match of Celestia. So do I understand it correctly? So you can basically do one thing with Celestia and one thing with Ethereum and one other thing with another blockchain. So that's kind of like this is the kind of like the technology that Celestia is bringing to the market, right? From a very vendor agnostic perspective, more like science itself, right? Technology, pure technology.
So it's very like unopinionated.
Right.
Like it's not that we come and say like you can only do this on Celestia or do that. It's general purpose chain where like whatever execution environments you want can be built on top. So it's very neutral, very unopinionated. So the modularity allows you, for instance, if you want to use, for instance, Ethereum for settlement because you care about the like high security of Ethereum, you can still do so with Celestia by deploying on Ethereum and just posting your data on Celestia. We have something that's called, like I didn't mention it in the presentation, but there's something deployed on Ethereum called Blobstream, or like on EVMs, there can be something deployed called Blobstream, where decentralized applications can basically just interact for validity with Ethereum, but have the data posted to Celestia. So the data availability attestations make it to a Solidity smart contract on the EVM. So you can still use Ethereum. Like our goal actually is to scale any ecosystem. So we want to scale blockchains as a whole and like crypto ecosystems as a whole. So whatever ecosystem out there that wants to save costs for data availability could use us. Of course, they could also use a centralized server. It would even be more cost efficient, but that would defeat the whole purpose of the chain. So if you care about a decentralized data availability solution and want to scale your ecosystem or your chain, Celestia basically enables that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think this is more clear for me now as well. That was a great explanation. So my last question is about the mass adoption. So a bit more of a general question. Where do you see Celestia and how Celestia is catalyzing mass adoption?
Celestia is a base layer that enables mass adoption in the sense that it provides the infrastructure that if mass adoption actually is there, you have the infrastructure in place that can serve like the whole world essentially, like not just a chain that will reach its scalability limits, but like a whole ecosystem of many different chains, many different execution environments, and so on. Like a great variety of ecosystems built on top that would not be feasible with an architecture that isn't modular as Celestia is.
Okay, cool. Then thank you so much. I think I would like to close our talk with your leadership message, because I know that Celestia is a young company and you're one of the co-founders. Would you like to share anything with the tech enthusiasts and maybe also tell them how they can join to the Celestia network, maybe through your summit in Brussels, like how this tech enthusiasts, specifically for Web3 lovers, how can they meet with Celestia?
I can totally recommend visiting our website, celestia.org. If you're a developer, go to celestia.org/build, where you can learn different ways on how to build with Celestia today. And you also mentioned the Modular Summit. There is an event that we're hosting in Brussels, or co-hosting together with another entity, Maven 11. That is like brings together all the like the whole modular ecosystem and everyone who wants to scale chain. So we basically you can go to modularsummit.dev and see presentations of the last year's Modular Summit. And I think this year's Modular Summit will be at least as exciting as the last one.
I'm sure it will be. Thank you so much, Ismail. That was great talking with you.
Thank you as well.